Welcome to another health management lecture by Sung-Bok Hsu. Congratulations! By deciding to begin your own health management program, you've taken the first step to a new and better you. The lecture you are about to hear will astound you. Sung-Bok Hsu arrived in America in 1961 to further her education. Earning 2 master's degrees in library science, Mrs. Hsu became a librarian at the university level. In poor health herself, this determined librarian used her skills to extensively research subjects on health restoration, including health foods and nutritional aids. Mrs. Hsu furthered her studies at seminars and personal consultations with nationally respected health authorities. From these results, she developed her health management program, consisting of internal cleansing and proper food combining. Today, thousands of persons following her program credit her personally with their improved health. Sung-Bok Hsu has long been heralded as the Ginseng Lady of Ohio. Please replay this tape several times over to understand the surprisingly simple solutions to how you can also succeed in overcoming your personal distress. The lecture you are about to hear was taped on Friday, February 5th, 1993. Here now is Sung-Bok Hsu speaking about the human body tune-up.
Thank you for coming. Tonight's lecture is entitled Human Body Tune-up. Some of you have not heard such a term, human body tune-up. You heard about all kinds of tune-ups, automobile tune-ups, lawnmower tune-ups, whatever, everything we use, we have to take care of it. Even a toaster, after a while you have to shake it, you have to clean it, otherwise things will start burning. So our human body is the same, just the same as any of the machinery that we use. Anything you use, you accumulate things that should not be there. We brush our teeth because after a while, if you don't brush your teeth, even 3 days, your food will not taste good. And your instrument, the teeth and the tongue, will begin to decay. So we have to take care of things. We eat food, and then we need to brush our teeth. Same token, the same food that we chew, that leaves things behind, goes through your esophagus and goes through your stomach, goes through your small intestine, goes through your large intestine. For some, like a mysterious way, we feel we need to brush our teeth, but we don't, because there is a magical way that mechanism will self-clean, like a self-cleaning oven, right? Self-clean. And yet, this is what phenomena is to be observed is, you eat fresh things. Nobody in this country knowingly go to a grocery store and buy anything slightly, even not fresh. We really are careful to choose very fresh things only. Yet, it goes through your body, and then by the time it comes out of the body, what do we find? It's very different from what we put it in. In your folder, let's look at this human digestive system anatomy chart. Many of you have looked at this in your lifetime. But as a simple logic, as I just described it, we put it in fresh. Look at this. We go through the stomach, we know that, and 22 feet of small intestine, and then continues on to 5 feet of large intestine. Then, by the time food particles reach to the end of large intestine and we eliminate, that is entirely different than what you put it in. Where did it become so different? Just like I mentioned, in your mouth already, things will begin to decay. Otherwise, why would your mouth need to be brushed? Already begun to decay, gradually goes through. Unlike our imagination, we don't have magical, any kind of disinfecting gadget inside of our body. And as it goes through 98.6 degrees of body temperature inside, it gradually decays. More and more decays. Most of us have experienced food poisoning, stomach flu, heartburns, sourness, burping up. That is not going to go away automatically by itself. Yet it has to go through another 22 feet of digestive system, which is small intestine. Not only that, has to continue on to 5 feet of large intestine. No wonder we eliminate, then it is very, very putrid. Everybody else in this country have it. What's so wrong about that? It's almost like everybody else is robbing the bank nowadays and using drugs. What's wrong with it? Now and then we can rob a bank and we can use some drugs. Right is right and wrong is wrong, no matter how many of people are doing or not doing. Right is right, wrong is wrong. We have abdominal area. We never again, hardly ever think about of that 22 feet plus 5 feet, 27 feet of pipeline is congested in large area. That's not true. Tall people have longer legs. Our abdominal area is not much different from tall people to short people, approximately this size. And 27 feet of pipeline is coiled up in it. Imagine, 27 feet of pipeline is coiled up in it. Used to be, it didn't matter what kind of consistency of food you ate, whether the food had a lot of fiber or not. It used to be not mattered. But today, a lot of people say high fiber, high fiber. We are beginning to recognize 27 feet of pipeline really need some help to progress. If it doesn't progress fast enough in 98.6 degrees, with all food you eat, get mixed together, and then digestive juices flow and get mixed together, milk and cheese get in there together, souring and curdling, and the cheese will binding in portion of our intestine. No wonder. By the time it comes out, it's putrid. Let's stretch our imagination. What comes out from our body, let's say we want to experiment what happened to my tissue, because inside I cannot see. Let's imagine I catch it and hold it, walk around it for 1 week. For 1 week. Wash it. Our hands would be very, very irritated, if not all torn up. That's how caustic we keep our inside. No wonder today, how many people do you know, if you are not yourself, suffering with ulcers, hemorrhoids, polyps growing, And even some people, you know, who is suffering with bleeding, colon cancer, many things. It's just imagine what we have inside of intestine. It's not ceramic tiles. It's not stainless steel. It's a flesh as our hands are flesh. We are in serious trouble. Yet, unless that problem is understood and dealt with, we are helpless. There is no solution inside. We say, we have bleeding stool. You know, that caustic material has to go through that wall of colon that is bleeding. In other words, open source, if you had open source, and you take what comes out from your body and rub it on every day, that's what's the difference. No difference. We really have to deal with the reality as seriously. So then, that's one problem we have. Putrefying matter will eat you alive from inside. Nobody can say chemical companies, acid rain, things that even water company is causing us to have cancer. Now even cellular phonics are going to cause us cancer before we do that. These things are outside causes that sometimes we can complain, maybe 5 years, 10 years later, something can be done. But what we can take care of ourselves is me, my body. Now, what we make food go in flesh and make it rot, we can have control over it. So we have a problem when we let our food rot within ourselves, it will eat us alive. Don't tell me I am making like a threat. Because just imagine, just try it. Catch something and walk around it. That is going on 365 days, whether we are eating or praying or doing good charity work, whether we are good people or bad people. There is no distinction in what is happening. It's not God is punishing us to give us that cancer. Why me? Why me? Nothing to do with Him. It's me. I am doing it. There's another one closely connected to that is we are rotting within ourselves. Secondly, what is our intestines' function? Whatever we eat is the origin, the source of our blood. What you eat becomes source of your blood. How? That's how we are made. We are what we eat. But guess what? What I ate is perfect. I ate spinach. I ate brown rice. Oh no, I don't eat meat. Not that I am a vegetarian. I don't mean that. People can say, I stopped eating meat. My food is very good. But if it is allowed to get contaminated, that is the out result your blood will pick up. What you ate changed. You know, you buy spinach, nothing wrong with the spinach. You kept it in the refrigerator 2 weeks. You didn't have a chance to eat it. Then you open it, it's mushed up. Is that the same consistency of nutrition as when you picked it from the garden or when you bought it from grocery store? You know it's not so. That's what we are doing. we are changing what we eat into something putrid and then draw blood from it. It's almost like our blood itself is a separate entity that by some odd reason my blood is causing to have a lack of iron, too much cholesterol, too much iron, not enough iodine. People think it's some kind of consistency of itself in the blood is causing us to have lack of this, too much of that. Is it possible that our body is forced to draw whatever comes into the bloodstream from raw sewage material? That's what we got inside. Not the food you ate. It changed into raw sewage material. We can bathe, we can shower, we can brush outside. We can wash our clothes outside. We can clean our house spring and fall. But inside where it really matters is putrid. We can do something about that. This is the description of how we are. Therefore, we can give ourselves a tune-up. How important it is to understand and give proper care for us to live not as a slave to our body, but we can be the master over our body. You know, people say, oh, how old are you? 50? Well, what do you expect? Your age is against you. You look old, you have backaches, you have headaches, you have no energy. If human body is made to live on 120 years, 50 is not even halfway point. Of course, if you take a fine car and then you never given it a tune-up, never given it a oil change, and you say, I got a lemon. 2 years later, this car is a junk. Whose fault is this? Is that the car or is that the owner who didn't take care of it? What about us? We have a fine machine to support our life, but we do not have a clue of how it operates, how to take care of it. How can we be able to master and produce the highest quality of life that we could live? So then we become slaves. I want to go mountain climbing. I cannot do that because my knee hurts. My hip is replaced with some plastic. I have diarrhea, I have indigestion, so I better stay home. Are we making slaves to our body rather than master over our body? That's not right. So then, I think I described pretty well about digestive system that is fouled up. So as you can see, my next proposition in the second part would be how to take care of it. It's not right to give you the problems, or make you aware of the problems, but hey, that's your problem. You resolve yourself. That's not right. I will give you the solution, suggestion to the solution in part 2. Then, just like I mentioned, whatever happens in our intestine is the source of blood. I have headaches, or I have tumor in the brain, or no, my tumor is in my reproductive organ. People think it's two different things. Either tumor is up here, tumor is down here. That's two different things. Arthritis is down here, or arthritis on this side. That's two different things. No, not so. The blood congregates through the heart. Isn't that right? And redistribute it through head to toe. Isn't that right? How can the blood that contaminates the brain will not contaminate toe? Then what is the difference? How come one person settles their toxin into their brain and another person settles their toxin into toes? The body cells are just like anything else. If there is a chance given, it rather live than die. We are rather live than die. Then how come certain portion of cells will accept the poison and a certain other portion will reject it? It's the strength, it's the health. If your cells are healthy, it has a better chance in repelling incoming poison. Many times people say, as a child, I fell and broke my wrist. And that's where, as I get older, I feel pain when weather changes. You heard of that. That part became weaker because of the injury you received way 20 years, 30 years ago. But the weakness remained. Weaker than the part never had accident. By different reasons, we have different weaknesses. Each person has different weaknesses. So let's say a person cut out the brain tumor. You are like clean now, but we better give you radiation in case. 3 months or 6 months later, we thought we got it all out, but your case, radiation didn't work and spread throughout your body. So all over, full-blown case cannot save you. How many of you know that such a statement was said by somebody you close to? To me, your blood has it all. Your blood circulates, even though that particular dump site of the poison is cut out surgically. Would it be better if we use natural method to reverse it? As it accumulates, it can be reversed. And people say, I have a tumor this big, and it can be reversed. Tumor is already there. I said, it went in there, little by little. Nobody just surgically put it in there. It went in there, little by little. Can it be reversed little by little? What is surgery? Instead of reversing it, removing it. Artificially, surgically, you're removing it. But did we do, by removing that accumulated poison, did we improve our quality of blood? Most likely not. Blood is the same. The poison once in the blood is still the same. This is removed. In natural healing, it reverses. In other words, your blood source is cleaned out. Isn't that much better? Yes? So, blood can get contaminated from contaminated intestine. There is one other area we can do something about. Today, many people are into exercising. Wonderful thing. What does exercise do? Is it moves lymphatic system. Many people don't care to think about lymphatic system. People care about circulatory system because the circulatory system is the life source moving heart. When heart stops, people die. But guess what? lymphatic system is just as important. Does not carry red blood cells, you don't see. You don't see. But if you looked at anatomy chart on lymphatic system, they are just as complicated web like a circulatory system is. Except you don't see them because there is no red blood cells run through lymphatic system. In medical profession, it is called human garbage system. Anything that out of your intestine, blood should not accept because it is garbage. Then it goes into the lymphatic system. It should be cleaned out. But we have maybe capacity of cleaning 2, but we are making garbage 5. Overflow of 3 get congested, either made into people's fat cells or made itself into sinus congestion. Then what we do? Funny thing happens when it comes to sinus, cold and flu. During that time, body is trying to do house cleaning. But first thing we do, shut it back in. That's what we do. But is that going to remain in your body next to 12 years or 25 years and turn into living cells or food for the living cells? The congestion that wants to come out of your body, do you think it will do something good for you eventually? Another thing, diarrhea. This is away from the lymph system. But people have diarrhea. Oh, you get dehydrated. You better stop that. That diarrhea material is so caustic, it burns you coming through. You use medication and lock it in. Body will throw the water. That caustic water, body throws it into the blood system. What happens to the diarrhea material? It turns into some food for your body or turns into living cells for your body. Do you know? Do you follow me? That is so putrid, you don't want to keep it. But we are educated. Diarrhea is bad for you. So diarrhea comes, you better stop that. Let's think it through to say what happens to the diarrhea material. So let's get back to lymph system. If lymph system is congested, it is not right for us to shut it up and dry it. What happens in 20 years to come? We are not going to change the way of manufacturing XS3 of the lymph congestion, so keep on accumulating more and more. But on the other hand, we dry it back and dry it more and more. No wonder eventually we get some growth somewhere. And then used to have 2 days cold as a child. Now as we get older, the amount is so much more. Now we have 2 weeks cold. We get even older, 2 weeks nothing, 6 months cold. In the beginning, only rag with the season had congestion coming through. But as we get older, more accumulated, it's now mold and dust and animal hair and 365 days we have drainage. So those are the 3 areas. Only way lymph congestion can be helped at this point is by cleaning bowel so that bowel wall can accept excess amount of lymph congestion and get it out through bowel movement And in order to perform that, we have to exercise. Because in circulatory system, we have a heart. As long as we are living, some people are weak, but nevertheless heart pumps. By heart pumping, circulation is performed. But in lymph system, we don't have a heart. Lymph system is on its own. Only way it can move is consecutively. You have to move minimum of 20 minutes. Whole body movement. Then it moves. Therefore you walk and you run and all of a sudden you have to cough up, you have to blow out. Good. You don't need to keep those anyways. Am I still? Therefore, these three areas are the areas that we can do something about it. There are a lot of other areas. Now, nerve system, that's another area. But believe it or not, our body, once again, I will tell you, is rather live than die. So if we do the correct management of digestive and eliminative system, and correct management of circulatory system, and correct management of lymph system, guess what? Rest, our body kicks in and help itself out. So far, we made it just about impossible for our body to recuperate. Therefore, once begin to show the wear and tear, there is no turnaround. There's incurables in everything. First of all, we are so scared of little virus. Cold germs and viruses, nobody has seen it yet. We don't know it is caused by virus or whether it's caused by germs because nobody has seen it. We just know the symptoms. But we are billion times bigger than those little things when we cannot even see. But when they invade, we get it. How badly we maintain ourselves. There's something you cannot even detect consumes you. Cancer. Is that a parasite or is that a virus? Or is it a germ? What causes cancer? Oh, that will cause you cancer. You know, comfrey will cause you cancer. Chaparral will cause you cancer. Now, as I said briefly before, cellular phone might cause you cancer. Everything is cancer-causing problems. Maybe, maybe not. If we do not know the cause of it, culprit of it, how are we going to determine what is causing what, in what degree? We have to look at the cause of it first before we can say this might be the cause, that might be the cause. Recently, two things that is favorable for general public is happening. First, Cancer Society. Drugs have nothing to do with the control of the cancer. This Cancer Society literature have mostly depend on food you eat. Let's eat a lot of fibrous fruit and vegetable, not too much red meat and fat. When did it change? Food had nothing to do, I heard, little short while ago. Food had nothing to do with the cancer or a tumor. But now I read in a printed material by Cancer Society, this has a lot to do with what you eat. People change. Good. People change. About 6 months ago or better, maybe 1 year ago, I happened to listen to the radio station and said, American Medical Association has few doctors beginning to make a movement of saying, let's forget about milk, dairy product. Let's forget about meat. But let's concentrate in 4 groups. Remember, 3 square meals a day, dairy, protein, vegetable, carbohydrate. 3 square meals, in other words, 4 groups of food. You shall be well. But now, within American Medical Association, doctors are beginning to make a movement to say, forget about these 3 square meals. Let's eat fruit, vegetable, carbohydrate, beans. Square meals. 3 square meals. It's good. People are beginning to look into not conventional, but something else. Thinking, I don't mean that's the way to go. I don't mean that. It's just we are beginning to look alternative way of doing things. That's good. Is there any questions so far what I said? This is just about, I'm wrapping it up for the tune-up part. In the second level, second portion, I will describe how we might be able to counteract so far.
I don't believe I've heard, please, too much about poisoning through the body going into our system and being eliminated too. Sometimes some of that does, and sometimes it's directed the wrong direction. But I didn't hear you mention anything about the body poisoning, interior body poisoning.
I thought I did.
You possibly did.
Yeah. Your intestine holds putrefaction, then blood picks it up, and the lymphatic system picks them up. That's the body poison. Because life is in the blood. Here it states that life is in the blood. What source of blood is, what goes on in our digestive system. So if our digestive system is not kept in clean condition, we will pick up that condition into the blood. Then blood circulates and nourishes or poisons cells. The life is in the blood. Yes.
Once you have your main toxics and everything cleansed and everything, what type of a maintenance system do you presume that you should stay under?
Well, that I hope that I can describe it in the second phase of this lecture.
You said, I've heard that once our system is cleansed, we'll feel better because we're feeling better.
Yeah, right.
And things will work together for us. Does this mean that if we go through your complete program that our whole system should be cleansed?
This is the thing. Let's go back to the automobile. You have a car that takes unleaded gasoline, but by mistake you put other than unleaded gasoline in, then you pump it all out, and then you begin to put the correct gasoline in, rest of the car's lifespan. The way we ate, the way we cared for ourselves, brought us to not good health condition. If that is the case, then once we correct it, we don't go back to the the condition that brought us not well. We have to have understanding of how body works. Therefore, we utilize body's capacity. Body is not unlimitedly, it can accept once we are clean. Just like a newborn babies, they have do's and don'ts. We have do's and don'ts also after once we are cleaned. Our body, many times this is what happens. Our body becomes ill. We are ill anyways. We don't know how we feel good. So we put bad things in. We are just as feeling bad. So we don't know too much of a difference. But I tell you, this is many times people explain it to me. Once they bring their body to certain health level, then you do bad things against the body's mechanism, capacity. Then you feel your body complaining very loudly so that you know you did what you did is not a good thing for your body. Wild animals, they don't go to school. They don't go to classes like this. How do they know what to eat, what to do, what not to do? Because their body instinct is intact. They know what to eat, what not to eat. We made our instinct so warped. You know, we know tobacco is killing us, but we get gravitated to that. We know drinking is killing us, but we get gravitated to that because our instinct is just completely warped. Once we get cleaned and health is restored, most every one of us will have that instinct that come back again. And when you go to grocery store, you find a certain section very lively, you know, like the energy is coming toward you. And certain section you don't want to step in because there is like a draining, heavy, depressing kind of energy is there. I attribute that to say your instinct is coming back again. Did I explain some?
I think you did. I think you got me to the point where we want to be.
Well, I thought he asked a question to the point of if I cleanse my body, is my body clean? In other words, and what if I cleanse my body with using your cleanser, but my lungs aren't clean?
Then you're not clean.
Then how do I proceed for something like that?
Lungs, once you have, this is what I was told by my customers. Once you become like afflicted with emphysema, there is no reversal to it. But would you know, I have seen other people that come here long time. They also clean their lungs. You know, lung has this little celiac pockets. They can get congestion coughed up, and that portion can be cleaned. So, when I'm talking about clean, by cleaning digestive and eliminative system and the circulatory system and the lymph system, that's what we do. Actively go in there and help it out. But rest of the cleaning, body will do, if we give it a little chance. Body will rather live than die.
The rest of the cleaning, in other words, the body will take care of itself if you're clean, really doing the work, helping it, clean itself.
Shall I share my own personal experience? I went to, after I did my cleansing maybe 5 years or so, I wanted to see where I stood. So I went to a family clinic in town. And the x-ray showed a little shadow part in my upper part of the lung. I never smoked in my life. So doctor said, then did you have somebody close to you smoked? Mother now, when I was very small, she smoked long pipe. It's an elite thing to do in Oriental society. I don't know whether it did it or not. But anyways, then later on, after another maybe 5 years, I had another x-ray. Absolutely no shadow. Absolutely clean.
Well, you mentioned tumors and like cutting them out. And well, I had a tumor taken off the aorta. And I thought for everything would be better. Breathing was bad, you know, you get a little nervous system. And I found it on the CAT scan, but not on X-ray. And it was taken out. I've been worse. I'm diagnosed emphysema.
Right now, the patients, you have rest of your life. When things are weakened, that portion is a weak portion. You have to take care of it. You take care of the weakest body, you shall be well. You just have to take care of it. Healthy people sometimes can do some, and they still bounce back. But once you have a weakness developed, you really what is wrong with bodies and why we need a tune-up. In the lecture following, I will tell you what can be done to repair your condition. These are things that I have done personally, and also my family is doing to maintain our good health. Thousands of my customers are also doing, applying this theory and reversing their condition. Please understand that I am not a doctor or that I am a healing professor. I am talking about a common sense approach to how our body works and what we can do to take care. If it makes sense, and apply it. Thank you very much for your attention, and God bless you.
As you have heard, there are answers to the car. You must first understand how it is. To understand your body, first understand how it functions. Just as food makes us ill, the fresh left within us will also make us. Good food that's either before you eat it or after it is toxemia. Toxemia is bad blood, which can and often lead to severe problems. Review, our digestive juices ends up in our. If the bloodstream is loaded with toxins, it will suffocate. Weak make weak bodies. These need. If you decide thousands who have glowing testimony and thanks to SHU or receive advice, proceed with the toll-free number today. Her count available from 10 a.m. to Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to on Saturday. It's 1-800-628-8. That's 1-628-0. Finally, the wise. Listen to Mrs. You will learn something. The more you listen, the sooner you bless you and good. Information from this for education. Diagnosis come under condition company no copyright